Guys, so today let's talk about hunger cues and what actually drives us to eat. Is it actually physical hunger? Or is it things like boredom, stress, and emotions? Also, who are we listening to when we make food choices? Are you merely choosing food solely to satisfy your taste buds? Or are you actually looking at food as energy and fuel to get you through the day? It's important to know your hunger cues and where they come from in order to make good and healthy choices. So yes, absolutely I agree. When a commercial comes on advertising a delicious dessert or a juicy cheeseburger, I'm all over that too, salivating with temptation. Or maybe we have that leftover dessert or piece of cake stored in the refrigerator from the other night. So you know when you're hungry, when you're truly hungry. Know this. Hunger and cravings to eat are not always the same thing. Understand that, please. Knowing when you're hungry, actually hungry, and when your mind is just playing tricks on you can be a huge challenge. And we've dealt with temptations to eat for a long time, but these days it's even harder to resist those urges now that we can have pizza at our doorstep or Uber Eats with just a push of a smartphone button or just some app. Being stuck at home right now also means we have 24/7 access to the foods in our pantries and refrigerator. So hunger cues can be easy to misinterpret. When we add boredom and stress to the mix, it becomes just a little bit more challenging, doesn't it? So learning how to tell if you're really hungry or just falling for common uh, food eating triggers is an essential skill for you to master to be able to maintain health in your body. So how do how do we differentiate our cues to eat? So one way to do this is to be aware of your eating patterns, both good and bad. So for instance, you may find that you always reach for a handful of sweet snacks in the afternoon for a pick-me-up, or that sweet treat with your coffee, or maybe on movie night you order pizza or popcorn. So if you're actually hungry, you will experience true hunger, like stomach growling, low energy, shakiness, and problems focusing, maybe even. So if you think about or even journal your food and mood and try to connect those two, you'll definitely see a list of things that trigger and your cues to eat. So what are some common food triggers? So seeing something you want to eat on a commercial or opening your refrigerator, feeling stressed after a long day of work or maybe having an argument with a coworker or a spouse, being offered some tasty foods from a well-intentioned friend, relying on habits like having a sweet dessert after dinner, just that link, or maybe feeling bored or tired. I mean, you ever find yourself rummaging through the cabinets in a fridge for no reason and you ask yourself, like, why am I doing this? I'm not even hungry. That's what I'm trying to say. So don't forget to make a mental note of these things and when your eatings seem to come from true hunger cues. And then give yourself a pat on the back when you don't listen to them. Absolutely. Once you have a better understanding of your eating habits, start using this knowledge to prepare yourself for situations that involve food and make it really make it a priority to listen to your body, which will make it easier to understand those cues and to be able to say no. And planning ahead is the key. Turning down tempting food is much easier if we actually never have to say no in the first place. What do I mean by that? That means you don't have to like really frantically run away every time someone offers you a slice of cake or a brownie. Rather than relying on willpower to turn someone down who's repeatedly offering you a tempting treat, try this. Tell them, hey, today I'm just not the type of person who eats that kind of food. This feels a whole lot more empowering than relying on willpower and trying to say no every time, and odds are the person will stop being pushy. Or better yet, let them know you're actively living a healthy lifestyle right now and use this opportunity to shift that conversation away from food. You may be surprised by the reaction you get. So plan ahead for eating triggers that you may find particularly challenging to resist. I mean, for instance, you always find yourself snacking on food while you're watching your favorite movie at home, then opt for a healthy snack choice or have one there like plain yogurt, fresh berries, or some nuts to munch on. Or do you ever find yourself making frequent refrigerator visits? I'll be honest, I do. Water with lemon is a great way to suppress your appetite, and hydration in general is just encouraging you to wait for a full meal. If you can't completely avoid it, then try to prepare, like swap it with a healthier option. Or if you find yourself stress eating after work each day, Have a healthy go-to snack ready for and accessible, like veggies and dip or a handful of nuts, like I said. It's easy to over consume a lot of these unhealthy snacks because we forget to look at how big the serving size is. Actually, let me rewind that. I'm going to say how small the serving size is, because if you decide to have something tempting in the house, like cookies, chips, ice cream, anything of that sort, pretzels, it's useful to separate the whole entire container into individual Ziploc bags of single serving sizes or whatever that nature, whatever container you use. This way, you're actually aware of how many servings you consume and how many trips you're making. And if you make more trips, you're actually putting more steps in. So, hey, what a cool, fun way to sneak in some extra steps, right? But anyway, I want to close off with checking in with your body. Life is absolutely unpredictable, which makes planning ahead for everything almost impossible at every point in time. So you're going to have moments when you're faced with a food option or food emergency that you haven't thought of. So it's going to be up to you and to determine if you're really hungry and take responsibility for yourself. So some ways to check in with your body about your hunger levels include pausing and asking yourself, hey, am I really hungry? Do your best to be honest with yourself. Check in on your mood and your physical state, your mindset. Eat more slowly. Allow your body time to let yourself know that you're full. Or maybe distract yourself with something other than food. So developing healthy habits takes time to develop, so it's important to be patient with yourself and practice self-compassion while you adapt to a healthier lifestyle. Be patient with yourself and your body as you adjust, please. Over time, you will learn to understand your body a little bit more each day, and that's what it's about. So be sure to recognize every time you do this effectively and celebrate your success, but never celebrate your success with food. It's an instinct that we have to uncouple. But keep this in mind. It's about making small changes and just making things a little bit healthier. Eating healthy is about balance and consistency. For some, it takes days or weeks to adjust to your hunger cues. So it's different for everybody. And once you learn to question yourself and your hunger cues, you're going to be well on your way to a healthier you. So don't forget to check in on your hunger cues and really question, why are you eating at this moment? When was the last time you ate? Are you eating out of physical hunger cues or emotional ones? Pay attention and become aware, develop healthy habits, and I wish you good health.